Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Los Angeles, the largest city in California, known as the world's entertainment center, is now witnessing a shocking spiritual phenomenon. Thousands of Americans in this city have reportedly converted to Islam after experiencing an extraordinary event that they call a miracle. This phenomenon has attracted the attention of various groups, from religious figures, academics, to international media. The beginning of the incident. It all started with a mysterious incident that occurred in one of the densely populated areas in Los Angeles. A small mosque that is usually only visited by a handful of worshippers suddenly became the center of attention. Local residents claimed to see a bright light emanating from the mosque at night, accompanied by the sound of the chanting of holy verses of the Quran that sounded melodious. Strangely, the sound was clearly audible even though no loudspeakers were used. Testimony of residents. Many residents have given testimony about their spiritual experiences after witnessing this incident. A woman named Sarah Johnson, who was previously a skeptic of religion, said that she felt her heart filled with extraordinary peace after hearing the chanting of the holy verses. "I can't explain what I felt at that moment, but I knew my life had changed," she said. Sarah is now one of thousands of new converts to Islam in Los Angeles. The role of the local Muslim community. The Muslim community in Los Angeles plays a vital role in welcoming and guiding new converts. Mosques in the city open their doors to anyone who wants to learn about Islam. They hold introductory classes, provide free English translations of the Quran, and provide moral support for converts. The local mosque's imam, Sheikh Abdullah, stated, "We are just trying to show the beauty of Islam through morals and real actions." Media and international reaction. This phenomenon did not escape the attention of the international media. Many major media outlets, such as CNN and BBC, reported on this incident, highlighting the surge in the number of converts in Los Angeles. Various religious figures from various countries also gave positive comments, calling this event a sign that Islam continues to grow as a religion that brings peace. The meaning of this miracle. For many, this phenomenon is not just a miracle, but also a call to reflect on the meaning of life. Scholars explain that the miracle may be God's way of showing his power and reminding people to return to him. The thousands of people who embraced Islam are real proof that Islam can provide answers to the spiritual anxiety felt by many people in the modern era. The phenomenon of thousands of Los Angeles residents embracing Islam after experiencing this miracle is a historic moment full of meaning. It is not only about changing religion, but also about the spiritual journey of humans in seeking the truth. May this event inspire more people to open their hearts and minds to the message of peace brought by Islam. Fire in Los Angeles brings miracle. Thousands of residents flock to Islam. Los Angeles, a city famous for the glitz of Hollywood and modern life, recently witnessed an extraordinary event. A massive fire that hit one of the city's residential areas not only left a trail of destruction, but also had a surprising spiritual impact. Thousands of residents who witnessed the miracle amidst the disaster have now decided to embrace Islam, seeking answers to the incident that they consider a sign from God. Fire that shook the city. This incident began with a major fire that hit the northern area of Los Angeles. The fire spread quickly, burning hundreds of homes and forcing thousands of people to evacuate. In the midst of the chaos, a phenomenon emerged that could not be explained logically. A small mosque in the middle of the area, engulfed in flames, remained standing strong without being touched by the fire at all. In fact, the surrounding buildings were destroyed in a matter of hours. Testimony of the victims. The victims of the fire gave heart-wrenching testimonies. John Matthews, a local resident, said he saw the fire stop right in front of the mosque, as if there was an invisible wall protecting him. "I'm not a religious person, but what I witnessed was real. I felt like there was a greater power protecting the place," said John, who has now converted to Islam. It was a different story for Maria Lopez, a single mother who lost her home in the fire. Maria said that when she took shelter near the mosque, she felt an extraordinary calm, even though the fire continued to blaze around her. After the incident, Maria began to study Islam and finally declared her faith. Reaction of the Muslim community. The Muslim community in Los Angeles was shocked and grateful for this incident. The mosque that survived the fire is now the center of attention, not only for Muslims but also for the wider community. The mosque's imam, Sheikh Ahmad, said, "We believe this is a sign from Allah to show His power and remind people of His greatness." Since the incident, the mosque has been crowded with residents who want to know more about Islam. Many of them then decided to convert to Islam after hearing an explanation of the teachings of peace and compassion in this religion. Media and international impact. This phenomenon not only became local news, but also attracted the attention of international media. Major news stations such as CNN and Al Jazeera covered the event in depth, highlighting how a mosque could survive a major fire. Experts tried to explain this phenomenon from a scientific perspective, but many eventually admitted that this event was difficult to explain rationally. Spiritual reflection of residents. For many residents, this event was a moment of deep spiritual reflection. Many felt that this miracle was a call to get closer to God. One of the new converts, Michael Carter, said that he had always felt an emptiness in his life even though he had everything materially. "After that incident, I felt called to seek the truth, and I found it in Islam," said Michael. This miracle in the midst of the Los Angeles fire is a reminder to everyone about the power of faith and the greatness of God. The thousands of residents who have now converted to Islam show that in every disaster, there is always a hidden wisdom. This event inspired many people to open their hearts and minds to Islam, a religion that brings a message of peace and hope amidst the trials of life. Hopefully, this story will be a valuable lesson for all of us to always seek the truth and get closer to the Creator. On January 7th, a fire broke out in one of Israel's most expensive cities, and the devastation it caused is beyond words. A place once filled with luxury, high-end homes, and thriving businesses is now in ruins. This uncontrolled fire swept through the area, reducing everything in its path to ashes, trees, animals, grand buildings, and billion-dollar homes alike. Observing the scene, one can't help but utter prayers for forgiveness. But amidst this apocalyptic disaster, a miraculous event unfolded, a sign that made the light of faith shine even brighter. This was no ordinary fire, and the miracle that followed has not only impacted Muslims, but also non-Muslim Jews, many of whom embraced Islam after witnessing it. Let's delve into this extraordinary story, narrated by a Jew who was present when the miracle took place. Before we proceed, if you're new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe and press the bell icon to receive our latest video updates. The initial discovery of the fire. It was January 7th in the Los Angeles area, a day that started like any other. People were going about their daily lives, unaware of the disaster that was about to unfold. A Jewish resident, employed by a wealthy Bollywood star, recalls his experience. "I was doing my regular duties when I saw sparks igniting on the distant mountains. At first, I thought it was just another fire, as such incidents had happened before. But this time, something felt different. The fire grew quickly, spreading uncontrollably. It wasn't long before the flames reached nearby homes. Smoke began pouring into the houses, causing panic. Soon, the fire escalated to dangerous proportions. Firefighters arrived on the scene, trying to contain the blaze. But their efforts seemed futile as the fire spread rapidly. Trees and buildings were consumed, igniting gas pipelines that caused massive explosions, setting more homes on fire. Within moments, entire rows of houses were engulfed in flames. The once immaculate, luxurious homes were reduced to ashes. The fire spreads and intensifies. As the fire grew in intensity, people rushed to save their lives. Celebrities and wealthy residents fled their homes in a desperate attempt to escape. It was a terrifying scene, one of devastation and helplessness, the narrator says. "I saw many people crying, screaming, and asking why this was happening to them. It was a moment of pure despair." Videos showing the chaos and destruction were shared, giving us a glimpse of the horror that unfolded in real time. Despite firefighters' efforts, the fire showed no signs of stopping, seeking shelter in the library. Amid the chaos, the narrator and others sought shelter in a nearby library, which at first appeared untouched by the fire. However, as they tried to hide inside, the heat became unbearable. "It felt as though someone had poured hot water over us," the narrator recalls. Despite the library's apparent safety, the flames soon reached it. As the building was engulfed, the people inside scrambled to escape. I was crying uncontrollably. The fear of burning was overwhelming. If I didn't escape, I knew I wouldn't survive. After a tense struggle, the narrator managed to escape. Within moments, the entire library was reduced to ashes, with nothing left standing. The Quranic miracle. Amid the devastation, something extraordinary happened. As the survivors approached the smoldering remains of the library, they discovered a miraculous sight. A single book, untouched by the fire, lay amidst the ashes. I couldn't believe my eyes. Everything around it had burned. Metal, wood, even iron had melted. But this book remained completely unharmed, the narrator says. As they examined the book, they realized it was the Quran. Initially in disbelief, the group began to ponder the significance of this miracle. Could this really be a miracle? Someone wondered aloud. The narrator, skeptical at first, decided to test the miracle. He placed the Quran near the fire to see if it would burn. For 15 minutes, the fire raged around it, but the Quran remained untouched. The power of the moment was overwhelming. Tears filled my eyes, not just mine, but those of the 50 others who had witnessed this miracle. Embracing Islam, the sight of the Quran surviving the fire left a lasting impact on everyone present. Many of those who witnessed the miracle embraced Islam. We knew without a doubt that this was a sign from Allah. This book, untouched by fire, is the word of Allah, the narrator shares. It wasn't long before the group sought out a Muslim scholar to learn more about Islam. Under his guidance, they recited the Shahada, the declaration of faith, and accepted Islam. The fire, though devastating, became a path to guidance for these individuals. A reflection. The narrator reflected on the connection between the fire and the oppression in Gaza. We realized that this fire was a punishment, a wake-up call for us, he says. And through this punishment, we found the truth. The witness's powerful testimony led thousands of others to embrace Islam, sharing their story with the world. Conclusion. This miraculous event serves as a powerful reminder of Allah's presence and His ability to guide those who seek the truth. It also stands as a warning to those who are still lost in misguidance. I pray that Allah Almighty guides the misguided people and grants them the ability to walk on the path of righteousness. The narrator concludes, "May we all reflect on the signs around us and strive to walk in the path of truth and righteousness."